For some stuff. Map. All right. Welcome to Biscuit Tin RPG, everybody. I want to give everyone a heads up. The lovely Jean will not be able to speak for probably an hour or so, as the internet is out in his location. And he is, and I'm not kidding, he sent us a picture. He can only hear us while standing out next to his mailbox. There is a picture of it. I don't know what to tell you. This is my favorite day. Um, Before we get started, I apologize in advance. I have a bit of a cold, so I may mute a lot to try to cough and not mess with anybody's ears and stuff. But we're gonna make it through tonight, whether I have to like prop myself up with duct tape or not. Also, just some updates on First Gate. First Gate, I found a glaring issue after I ordered proofs, but managed to get them stopped mostly. I've updated them and I sent them off to where they needed to go. I'm just waiting for validation for the physical copies. That being said, the digital versions are completely ready to go. So, any of you that are interested in just getting the digital copy of it, those will be available, I would say, within the next couple of weeks. And the announcement on the actual release of the Black Ballot edition of First Gate will be announced Tuesday. If you backed the Black Ballot, be in the lookout in your email for the usual update, as it were. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get started with doing a game recap from last session. Uh, as you all know, I've got a new format for this. I roll a random dice based on the number of people in the game, and the person whose number I roll gets to write the session recap. This last time, it looks like we pulled from the Diary of Unya. Session 29, that was titled Hot Swamp Ass and Violence. I don't know. All right, from Unya. There are so many things I've been trying to understand, and the biggest would be those that I travel with. One fixates on her sword to a degree that is almost worshipful, yet fights as if in a choreographed scene of a play. The bard amongst us lashes out with her words almost as sharply as the keenest of blades, yet could sweet talk the vilest of demonic princes. She did finally get her knight with fate by her side, though I hesitate to call her a maiden much longer. Wow, the shade being thrown around in here. From what I know of Jean, he travels with more pain than he ever shows, but does seem to be handling it well. Even decided to fancy up his clothes just as the ladies did. All of them look like they truly belong at this gathering and may truly be useful in helping to aid the endeavors. I'm beginning to understand the secret endeavors that so many undertake as well. They have mentioned concern of my need for the book, so I returned it to the one who created it, and made a deal to maintain one part of it. No one will take that which I earned from me anymore. The chef and I have an agreement that I will spread his word and find more to pursue the book. So many things are happening now, and it's difficult to fully explain it all. I believe that I can help establish the temple of the chef and begin to train those who wish along his tenet and my path of the astral self. This is one hell of a weird church you're setting up, man, and I am here for it. This is what my purpose has been the whole time, and I finally realized it. Many more things are to come, but the truce is no more, and the real fight is beginning. I only hope that when the time comes, none of them will hesitate to act, no matter the cost. The only one of my companions that I still don't fully get is the one with the black as night shield. She maintains a wall of sarcasm that befuddles me. From the writings of Unya. Elephant. Oh no! Jean is gone. All right, everybody. I'm gonna do some quick stuff here and find this missing person thing. It's somewhere. I guarantee it. Where is this thing? So that's the missing one. Oh, is that it? Nope, that's lost. Nope, that's me. That's the other me. I'm sorry, everybody. Technical difficulties are hard in the middle of a thing. Um, where the hell is the other one? I love that this is going to be part of the thing. Yeah. Oh, wait. That's right. I have to remove one. Fixed it. Y'all ready for this? Anyway, we're going to go ahead and start back where we left off. The group has just entered into the Impossible Spire and been announced by the Bard as they entered to all that are actually in attendance. That being said, I did give everybody all of the players a I gotta fix that. That's in the wrong spot. That's gonna bother me. Um, I did give everyone a rundown of who they see and the names that were told to them. I will say right up front that as they all enter and they start making their presence known, that Master Ridgewell Beckett, the now chief librarian of the library, notices you all enter and immediately walks up to you all. Um, Happy as a clam, just couldn't be happier to be out of the library, and is ecstatic with the fact that you all, uh, got rid of his ill-tempered boss. That being said, he walks up to you all and says, "Oh, you made it. It's good to see you all. Finally got here. Is there anything I can do to help? You've done me all such a great service that I couldn't possibly repay it."
Question. Who does he seem to be directing that towards? Because I don't believe he would remember Augustine or Issa. I
Yeah,
don't think there's
yeah.
anyone else.
So, you all had,
It would just be me and Jean he'd remember.
yeah.
'Cause the other three
So he would be
died
talking to
or
either Jean
yeah.
or Riva, just for the sake of how this is going with Jean, like falling out. Um, Jean will have wandered off into a random direction to sit at a chair and consider his life choices and all of the things he's experienced until he gets back, and then we'll just zip him back in. So, Riva, that was directed at you.
Uh sure. Um are there any other uh rules or things they don't want you to do at here?
Um,
Like they don't want you to cast magic or fight, but is there something and you shouldn't call Dorian, his moniker.
oh,
Is there anything else?
I mean, if you want to do formalities, that's probably in your best interest. Um, I will tell you, I don't know how familiar you are with the game of political chess, as it were, but
Not at
everyone
all.
everyone here is vying for support. Specifically, I believe with Quiven being here, um, the Knight Captain and Dorian um, are both trying to rally support from people. Um, that's all I know. So just you're gonna have to try to, if you're trying to swing the vote one way or the other to either one of them, then just know that other people are doing the exact same thing.
What
Um
if there was a third option?
A third option?
if someone else was to try to get votes or get support.
Well,
Someone outside both of them,
I
but
mean,
still
I'm
friendly with both?
with 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 everything that Riva's done for me, and Jean, wherever he went, um, I'd be more than happy to support you in whatever you need. Are you putting forth a candidate?
I believe Fate's putting herself forward.
Oh, Fate. Well, it does make sense. She's a neutral, well, kind of neutral.
As
Um,
neutral as one gets.
I mean, yeah, especially with the city at war. She does seem to be not playing favorites so much as she's just kind of looking through the political landscape, as it were. But if she needs support, I will gladly lend her mine.
These two or three actually are my friends. You probably don't
Lisa,
remember
it's
them.
nice to meet you.
Uh,
I've heard wonderful things about your library.
oh, well, yes, of course. Any friends of Jean and Riva are friends of mine, so you have my support. Absolutely. Um, I can give you details about people at the court if you like.
I feel like we just opened up an NPC that's just here to teach us things.
Sorry, that's me laughing, not Augustine.
He's being very nice and helpful, and you should be nice to him, Issa.
No, I'm that was above board of just me being like, I feel like we found the NPC in the video game that just tells us everything we need to know. I'm being nice.
Augustine, we would be
That would be
very
me.
grateful if.
Sorry.
What did
that,
Unya say?
that wasn't Unya. That was me. That would be Kane.
Oh. We would be very grateful if you could give us maybe any lesser known facts about the people around here. Maybe the best way to approach them.
Well, I don't know if I could really tell you how to approach them. The approach is going to be a cold approach, no matter who you are, unless you've dealt with them before. Um, uh, i- is there anybody here that you have not met previously?
Say probably vast majority, to be honest.
I'm fairly new to the area.
Okay, okay. Well,
Are there any you would potentially warn us against?
when trying to garner support, uh, honestly, you'd try to talk to everybody, but obviously there's not going to be a lot of time. Um, let's see. The main people that I feel would be worth talking to and pivotal votes. Obviously, well, I don't know of anybody that's going to support Fate without you bringing her name up. I do know that Cordelia would be a tough sell, as she is currently uh, the right hand of the accursed king himself, and actually the general of the Shadelands armies. But rumor is that she's kind of disgruntled with how things have been lately. So maybe, maybe not. I don't know. Uh, Quiven, obviously, strange to see him here, but I guess that the knight captain has to drum up support somehow. Alios, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know much about the guy. I do know that he is a cleric, and he usually doesn't come unless there's something for him to gain. So that's that's one thing. It'll be a tough sell for Millicent Canterfield. She was previously. Oh, let me see if I can remember. He pulls out a piece of paper and starts looking at it. He goes, "Oh, oh yes, she was the effectively. What was her title? I do know that she was kind of the. Oh, she's the Berserker of the Scarlet Hearth. And if I'm not mistaken, uh, I'm assuming you all were somehow involved with the taking of it. So might be a tough sell for her out of all of them. But the people I think you should look out for the most is probably going to either be Mozakai the Just, or Vywin Lanais. They're both from foreign nations, and well, some of them are not big fans of the Shadelands in general, so they'd be tough sells to try to keep this place intact without somehow giving up a piece of it.
Sorry, there are so many notes of people to go over to
Yeah.
see if there's anyone specific I want to ask about.
No, that's fine. Take your time. I know there's a lot. So, if you like, if you want to give me a particular person that you would like to approach first.
Well, here's a question: are we all going to approach the same person, or are we going to split up to try to cover more ground?
So that
Because
feel like if
I know
all
the
of us
original idea was
So just to let you know, it is completely in your purview on what you'd like to do. If you'd like to split up, or you'd like to have some people, it really is a game of political espionage, right? So you can have people learning information about others while you're doing a conversation here, or you can actually split up and maybe try to tackle two people at once.
well, I know some of us are lighter on their feet than others, so if anyone is willing to go, maybe take a listen in on conversations, see where people's heads are at.
And I feel like if we all come up to the same person en masse, it's only going to make it look like we're ganging up on them, and that's not going to necessarily endear us to anyone.
Uh,
Is it more? Go ahead.
Beckett speaks up and he's like, I mean, I wouldn't assume so. They have their own coterie of people as well, so it would be just a group of people approaching another group of people. I find it highly unlikely that anyone in this establishment, especially being called by the king himself, would bow to such a obvious show of force. The weak do not last long here.
We were just a group of people. It makes sense if we stick together.
Well, go ahead.
Do we? I'm not gonna be good at talking to anyone.
I can
I'm
handle the talking.
okay. I'm just not made for political sort of stuff. I can try, but a lot of it's gonna go right over my head.
Well, there are some people that likely would not appreciate my approach to it, but they may connect better with someone who approaches it differently. Um, I think maybe our best bet is to start with someone who might be a safe bet. And while I speak with them, you can also try listening to the conversations, watching people, and seeing if you can get any information that way.
Yeah, you're listening. I. Hmm. What about Isa and Unya? What will you two be doing in this case? Do you think you might be able to?
I am frightfully untactful, as many of you will know, to the point of detriment. But there are a few here that I would like to speak to regardless of outcome. So maybe there's a few that I might be willing to give a try. And just very much hope that if I open my mouth too far and piss someone off, that it's not somebody that we need, I guess. Otherwise, I'm good keeping an eye on Jean, seeing what bits of the conversation I hear as everyone's going around. I'm sure we can find a use for me somewhere in this.
I may be able to dig us out of any verbal holes if we do stick close to one another. A lot is riding on this, so
So I will remind you all that at the end of last session, when Quiven had entered, you overheard a conversation between Quiven and Fate, who was surprised to see him there. And I'll repeat just so we're all kind of caught back up that, um, and I quote, Quiven said to her, "I was a warlock bastard doing bastard things before Lacroix was even born, but I left that life and followed him because I believed in him. I believed in his cause. I still do. But the fact is, I will be here, the Shadelands will be here long after his short human life is spent. Someone has to ensure the safety of the people." You can infer from that what you think.
are they like, I know Fate went off to talk to him. Are those two still talking, or has she split off to talk to someone else and he's on his own
She
effectively?
she had a small, like, like like a very understanding, like, shoulder to, like, an ear to listen sort of thing. Um, she did mention to him that she would like to create peace, um, and that she was going to be nominating herself to either, you know, step in for Dorian, um, or um, or perhaps make a council of sorts where everyone gets a say and it's not just one city versus the other side of the city.
Just again.
But as it stands, he's merely considering the thought, but he does not seem to have made up his mind.
Well,
Maybe
we
maybe
can.
Quiven is someone we should talk to first, because if we gain their support, it might be easier to get Millicent to be marginally less hostile. Given
Well,
that everyone's been stuck in the hearth for a bit.
I'm totally fine with that. You two?
Millicent, the bazaar,
So,
right?
are you all deciding who you'd like to start your conversation with?
Quiven
Well, we were
Millicent.
suggesting Quiven.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
And then maybe from there pivot to someone else.
Okay.
If
So
we're all in agreement.
Sounds good to
Dipping,
me.
dip toe in politically, shall we say.
all right.
Augustine actually like straightens up a little bit. Like more of a confidence posture than a proper posture. And if the others are coming, she'll lead the way over to where Quiven is.
Okay. So you walk up to Quiven, and he looks at you all and says, "Oh, Riva, uh, I see Jean's over there. Unya,
Yes.
yeah, you. All right. How
Uh,
can I help you?"
uh, me and my friends here are hoping to talk. Um, we know things have been a bit tense, and no, we just want to talk about how you feeling about everything that's going on right now.
It's
Augustine's going to actually like step forward a little bit, just to get him to look at her. Uh, I don't believe we've met. I'm Augustine. Um, Actually, I will admit I could not help but overhear when we passed by earlier that you aren't sure how you feel about how this has been going. So
Yes. It is unfortunate the way things have gone. That being said, I'm actually here to since Lacroix chose not to show up, I'm actually here on behalf of the Legionnaires. So my job is to
respectfully,
yes.
you are here on behalf of the Legionnaires, but that doesn't necessarily mean you have to back Lacroix. Speaking as someone else who is long lived, you have to look towards the distant future.
Yes.
And I respect Lacroix, but I do not think he is the best option. Fate, on the other hand, she handles things with a far more level head. Brash tempers will do nothing but burn this city to the ground. Unfortunately, the king has had some erratic behavior lately, and you do know as well as I do that Aqua does have a temper on him. But Fate is known as a mediator.
That's true. So what are you proposing?
Is that you back Fate instead? You have to ask yourself whether your honor leans more strongly towards the survival of the city or towards the Qua.
I have dealt with and worked with a lot of men like Lacroix. I see something in his eyes that is. People like him end up doing things very recklessly and do not end up faring well in the long run. I like him and I respect him. He seems dangerous if he is not careful.
I cannot deny that he is in fact a dangerous man. That being said, I'm still here to shore up support for the Legionnaires. Um, is there like a middle ground perhaps we could meet on?
What if you hit two birds with one stone?
How so?
You want to raise support for the Legionnaires? We would like to make sure that Fate gets as much support as possible. So you can simply turn people away from Dorian.
How about this? I am still. Why not a council of sorts? Something where all sides get a vote.
Honestly, I
That
think
Fate
that might
is
be more
Fate
what
could
Fate
sit on the
wants.
council, as could Lacroix, whoever is in charge of the Legionnaires. And if Dorian is still the king after all this is said and done, then and we get more of the merchants, maybe a parliament of sorts.
that would be a far fairer way to handle things.
Okay. Tell you what, I will shore up support with that in mind. And if you have enough support by the end of the evening, I and those who back me will back you.
Now that sounds more than agreeable.
Very well. Let the unfortunate game of chess begin. All right.
We got a maybe, guys.
All right. So
That
A solid
that
maybe from someone who's already on the edge.
Listen,
We already picked our title. We can't pick another one.
All right. So each one of these conversations, as I told you all previously, and just so you, the viewers at home, will understand, each one of these little conversations is a block of a half hour or so. There is a time limit once this is all called, but I'm not going to go into the nitty gritty of that. I've already got all that stuff up here and on this piece of paper. So, while that was going on, um, for those of you that weren't directly talking, give me perception checks.
I got a 7.
Okay.
31. That might be the only good roll I have tonight.
Okay, so you saw Cordelia talking to Ulkaresh on behalf of King Dorian, and they seem to be quite agreeable. You maintained the ability to keep Quiven out of the rounds this time, so nobody was seemingly recruited for the Legionnaires or Lacroix. So, with that being said, we are down to that many rounds left. Okay. Who would you like to go speak with next?
saying this out of character.
Uh-huh.
I know that we will want to talk to at least one person from a foreign nation.
Okay.
Because if we can convince someone from a foreign nation over to our side, that would also kind of bolster the city. I do also want to talk to Cordelia eventually, but I want to get some more information first. See if we can get any more information before we do that, because she's going to be a tough nut to crack. But if we crack her, we're doing good.
All right.
Anyone else have ideas?
I'm also not from the Shadeland, so I might be able to provide some, like, I guess, sympathy or like relatability to the foreign
I
people.
wonder if I wonder if Riva and Unya went to go talk to Torad if that would work. You're both not from here, and something tells me that the Kaldenkine's probably
So, Augustine,
more
you would
fun.
know a bit more about Torrid Lightmaker. Having been from the city, you know that Torrid is actually the representative for the Rustic Bloods, the loose collection of rural communities. Um, he is a warlock himself, and he represents the smaller settlements from the outer tundras, the forests, and the mountains. These are places that have successfully achieved relative peace and balance with the Shadelands. However, they are not big fans of Jan Koth in general and are especially upset with the current chaotic state of affairs, you could assume.
Okay.
Feels like there could be a
So,
sympathetic connection between fellow people who are not from here and also think this place is a little bit bullshit.
with Torrid, push for resolution for the focus of the conversation. Um, Focusing on the present might just irritate him further. They aren't huge fans of Yonka, but I think that might change if we can offer a peaceful way forward.
It also probably wouldn't hurt if the people who are outside of Yankoth had a bit more say in how the magics in this area are run.
While I can see how that might tempt them, I don't think that would stand for very long, if at all. Yonkath is full of people on all levels who have come here seeking independence and freedom and pursuit of their goals with their magic as they see fit. That's part of the allure. You take that away, you take some of that autonomy away, you could start riots.
I'm remembering that we all met with a bunch of bodies in the middle of nowhere and nobody to have any semblance of accountability towards that. And I think that if we offered that to some of the people who live outside of Yonkath, it might not be the worst of ideas.
I'm not sure I get what you're getting at.
I'm saying that if we suggested that there was a place on the council for the smaller voices around Yonkath who also have to deal with Yonkath's problems, but with less of the benefits, it might not be the worst idea.
I'm not so certain I agree with that. Because again, they are outside of Yonkath, and that is out of Yonkath's jurisdiction, by technicality. And when you get to the neutral lands, then that's anyone's problem.
So, Issa, the one thing that you know, because you have lived out there, is that you know that despite the fact that they are removed from Yonkath proper, the politics and things that go on in Yonkath have been known to work their way out into the outer settlements. As much as they try to avoid it, everything affects everything within the Shadelands. Butterfly effect, so to speak.
If it didn't affect everybody outside of Yonkath proper, we wouldn't have foreign powers here worried about their borders.
They can worry about their borders, that's fine. I'm simply saying that, I mean, you can pursue it if you wish. I'm simply saying that I don't think that would be held up to.
We're hoping to
I mean, even if
warlocks.
fate backs that, you would have to have everyone else on the council, if the council is made, to agree to that, or at least the majority. So I'm saying that be careful about making that kind of promise.
We'll put
Not a promise, just a suggestion that maybe it's something that they should look into, and that it would probably be more agreeable towards them, I suppose, with somebody speaking for them who is good at mediating, like Fate.
I mean, I won't disagree. I've simply stated my concerns about getting the majority behind that sort of thing.
Remember, you can all feel free to split up.
Yes. Let's theoretically. You said you want to try to get Cordelia on board.
Oh,
What would,
I said that out of character.
Oh.
Augustine hasn't brought that up. So, just to establish, are you and Unya going to go speak with him?
Me? Unya?
With Torrid, yes.
We could, and then you and Issa could split up, or could stick together with someone else.
I mean, honestly, I was thinking that it might be useful to speak with some of the guild leaders. Out of character, I haven't decided which one yet because there's a long list and I'm bouncing between a lot of names.
I keep looking down, just going, Borla seems not necessarily nice, but at least somebody that we've probably crossed paths with before because we're staying in her house, so to speak.
That's true. We are thing there. And let's see, leader of the Brutes Guild is probably someone I could probably get along with. I feel like pretty easily. Comparison to most of these people, I suppose. Yes, Orphan.
Did you say Borla? Borla doesn't
No, I think you mean
own the
Kjorn.
Tensor Sphere.
Kieran. Yeah, that one. Sorry, my list of names is literally just me writing down absolutely not, maybe, absolutely not, no way in hell.
Let's see, who's
I
big
could go
list?
speak with Borla. He may be a little more open to conversation with another Glau. I know we aren't very common around here. Or at least I'm assuming, because again, out of character, this is like the first Glau we've met outside of Elliot and Augustine.
So, as you look over at Borla, give me a perception check. Or rather, an insight check.
Hold on, let me. Okay. God, where is? Okay, sorry, I'm finding my bot because I have to make my dice rolls with the bot right now. Oh no, I can do it on roll 20. Give me a second. I'll roll it on roll 20. But everyone can see it. Or not. Okay. Hold on. I'm gonna have to do math for this.
Not math.
I have to use my physical dice. My brain is melted. I've been looking at numbers all day.
That's fine.
18 plus 32 insight.
Okay. So, one thing you do know about Borla in general, without that insight check, and the fact that you've been around, Borla is actually the main left hand specifically of the Stone Guild, the quarry that is beneath the cindered house, from which all the stone is carved and collected. Um, Basically, all of the black stone and everything you see around you in the city, especially on the Cathrock side, um, is mined from his mine. The one thing you can tell with that insight is he looks incredibly distraught. Like he doesn't want to be here. He seems like he's very bothered. Seems the only reason he's here is because the king asked him to be.
Actually, I think I do want to speak with Bola. Isha, it's up to you if you come with me or if you want to pursue something else.
I'll go
Do
with
we-
you for this one. And there's a few that I might try on my own.
There's also Zale, right? Who's here, but I think it's gonna be a bit tricksy considering he's being flanked by two vampires who hate us.
Zale, I want to talk to,
Oh.
regardless of whether it's political or not.
I don't think Rizel hates me, so that may not be an issue.
Sure, you might be able to go talk to Zale. I guess Rizel wouldn't remember Issa, huh?
The
You would
only
think.
thing that Rizel would remember Issa or Augustine, or really any of you, with the exception of those that had already died prior to that meeting the first time, would be from the bridge where someone broke the thraldom on Zale.
So
That
so
she
just
did
really
not see happen.
This is factual, but she did feel it.
Of course.
someone did it, but she probably knows I was involved in it because I was talking to Mazabeth. So me and Jean shouldn't go anywhere near it. But
So,
We already
three.
know
okay,
that you were
we-
distracting on that. And that I was a little shit. So really, everybody's kind of SOL on this.
We
But
will go
regardless,
speak with Bola, and then
see where we go from there.
I will do as you say, that bog thing, and I will speak with the sisters, and you can speak with Zale.
Okay.
And
Because I mean, they may not outright hate you at this point, but they would probably still try to insert themselves in that conversation. So may as well keep them occupied.
I mean, he is technically fully capable right now of telling them to pound sand and have a conversation privately. I don't think he would, but
I was going to say capable, yes. I don't know if
it'd be a
that's
bit bold of him.
they are much older than him, so
you've never talked to your parents.
Pants is
I'm
a bit of
sorry.
a
This is me,
strange thing to
Augustine.
compare to.
Augustine, just poker faces it. Actually, my parents died before I can even remember, so I don't know.
Ooh, alright.
Okay.
Well, I wouldn't
I'm
compare
not
it to
sure if
parents, considering he was
congratulations or
kidnapped,
an apology
essentially,
is in
but,
order.
you know. So,
Well,
you two are
while
gonna
I
go do
do love
that.
unpacking trauma,
Let's focus.
Alright, so
so
you two are
you
gonna go
two
do
are
that,
going.
and me and Una are gonna go to Torad? Is that the plan?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yorpin, sorry. Or Torad.
Torad
One.
is yes, yeah. And then were you going to go talk to
So the ones that
Irathon?
I know that you were considering was either Torrid or Earfan.
Yeah, fun.
Earfan's the Brutes Guild, and Torrid is the loose collective of rural settlements outside the shade outside of Yonkoth, out in the Shadelands.
Recalling kind.
Hmm. Well, boy. I
We
don't know.
have two conversations, so that will give you both time to
Yeah,
do
we'll try to tackle
both
both if
if
we
you'd like.
can. Alright. That's our plan.
All right,
So we're splitting up.
all right, split the party. Oh man, this
This never goes badly.
How bless
This
you.
is never a bad
oh,
idea.
I felt that in my spine. Not my favorite day, everyone. All right, so let's see here. I can go with either group first.
Bless you.
Super professional. Consummate
We love you for
professional.
suffering for us.
Roll a d6. Even is one group and odd is the other.
All right.
We'll take odd.
That makes sense. Even it is.
I feel
All right. We're
Borla.
gonna go talk to Borla.
All right. So,
Um,
yep.
I was just gonna say the way Augustine approaches is just kind of a I'm sorry, I don't mean to bother, but you seem upset about something. Are you alright?
It's there's so many things going on with the city in chaos, and I just found out my sister's dead. Uh, the work orders are building up, and I got to come to this stupid court.
I'm so sorry about your sister.
it's, it's fine. How can I help you?
I think the better
How
question
rude of
is,
me.
how can we help you? You seem like you're going through a lot right now.
um, honestly, I really just want to leave. I've got all on my plate, and with this war going on and the buildings being destroyed, I'm backed up in work orders, and I've got to prepare so many things. It's it's a lot. I don't know how you'd be able to help me, but y'all need jobs?
I don't know how much use you would have of a bod.
Ugh. I
I'm,
guess I guess that makes
I'm
sense.
fairly proficient in hitting things. I suppose that may be helpful.
If you can swing a sword, you can swing a pick, I suppose.
I suppose.
But I highly doubt you came here for a job. What? So we can get this over with and I can leave. What is it you all need, want? What are you selling?
We actually, um, well, it sounds cheaper when you put it that way, but um, Fate is actually stepping forward as a candidate this evening.
To lead the city?
Yes,
Well,
and I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no, I'm listening.
The city is falling apart. You clearly know that very well. Dorian's behavior has been erratic at best.
Dorian.
McCaw has.
I mean, I've heard as such, but looking at
He's
him
done
now,
at
he
least
seems
as much
completely the same as he's always been.
I don't know if that's necessarily better.
Worse,
I
actually, because it
I
means you never know.
I assume that you all like at least glanced over at Dorian sitting on his
Oh, yeah.
throne when he said that. So go
Mhm.
ahead and both of you roll that insight check.
Can't do math again. Okay. Oh wait,
Absolute
that's
zero
easy.
on insight. Damn it.
30.
15.
Okay. So Issa, you kind of pick up on the same thing that was there originally, which is that Dorian doesn't seem out of his mind so much. He's just very much got that like stone stare of the cold fury of curiosity, and he looks to be calculating about how he can get out of all this mess. Augustine, you pick up on the fact that whatever whatever weird madness everyone was accusing him of having, there is no sign of it at this point. He appears to be talking with Cordelia on and off. The conversation seems very methodical and thought out. There's no glimmer of madness or confusion or anything in his eye. He seems to know exactly what he's doing.
Well, would you really prefer to be led by someone who you don't know when that will happen again?
Who's to say that fate wouldn't have the same break?
She hasn't yet.
Well, she hasn't taken on the duties and responsibilities that the king has had to. But
What if she had help?
how so?
I mean, you inferred it as. Sorry. You said that it's a lot for a king to carry. Maybe it's too much for one person to carry. Perhaps a council that gives more of the guild a say in the matter. With somebody, possibly even Dorian, still at the head, but with somebody in between to mediate.
I mean, it's not the worst idea I've heard tonight. Go ahead and roll persuasion, both of you.
17?
35.
All right. This is Borla. All right. All right. He's like, fine. I'll keep it in mind. Um, it's not the worst idea. At least for the time being, unless someone presents a better offer. You have my support.
Thank you.
Appreciated. Also, depending on how long you've been here,
Hmm.
it is socially acceptable to leave a gathering, event, whatever it is that you've been invited to, after the first 45 minutes.
I'll keep it in mind. All right.
Before we walk away, I just want to. Issa wants to just very subtly just like touch his arm, and if you are looking for people to help cut, I help in the quarry. I would be happy to help if I can.
I'll keep it in mind. Cool. I just gave you a +1 to your DC.
Thanks.
You're welcome. All right. Riva and Unya, were you going to be going talking to Torad or Erfan?
Suppose Torad first.
All right. So you walk up to Torad. Let me find his entry real quick. And he seems to be just having a conversation with another random person. He walks away and he sees you all and politely nods at you all. Yes. Can I help you?
Uh, I was just hoping to talk. As I am Riva Armstrong. This is Unya. We are here to. Things obviously have not been great everywhere,
It's
and
true.
we are hoping to do something about it, make it a little better. Um, I don't believe that the king or the Kwa. I am not from here, and I'm not. From the time I spent in this city, everything has gone to absolute disarray. To me, they do not seem capable. Uh, it worries me, and I think someone else should take the helm.
So he looks at you and he's taken in your words and he nods in understanding and he goes, you know, the peace and balance that we who are living outside Yonkoth have managed to cultivate. We don't want our homes or lives destroyed. So, what are you proposing to do about this crisis that we're all facing?
Well, I suggest that I want personally Fate to take the helm. I think she's more capable than she's maybe the most capable person I've met, especially in the game of settling things and helping others. And I think we could find a place and a way of helping people out there if you helped us. We are we wish to make a council of some kind, and we'd be happy to offer you a position on it. And that way you'd be able to give input and have your say in matters.
I'm not real worried about being on a council or anything. I more want somebody to make sure that the city itself stays in check. I don't mind backing Fate. Um, in fact, your words they make a lot of sense. I mean, from what I've seen, the king is barely holding on. And Lacroix is a man consumed by rage. And neither one of those is qualities I find particularly endearing in a leader. If it ends up being some sort of council, maybe some sort of seat on that council, I don't need to be in charge of anything, just being able to see what's happening and making decisions. I will. Yeah. All right. I'll back your play. Both of you go ahead and roll uh, persuasion.
Bad. Roll a 3. Plus 9 though, so 12.
Okay.
27.
All
Oh,
right.
thank God, Saunius rolled better than me. Oh God, man said nothing.
All
This
right.
one, the vibes are good. We're fine.
Showing behind me. Like,
Alrighty.
oh,
So, Torad. All right. Cool. All right. So another half hour has passed. All right. So, you so far have gained a maybe from Quiven. You've gained Torrid's support. You have Beckett's support and Borla's support for the time being. So you have 3 people for certain that you know are currently on your side. Who would you all like to split up again, or would you like to regroup and come up with another plan?
I say we stay split and do the second conversations.
Okay. So I know that means that Riva and Unya were going to be going over to Irfan. Augustine and Issa, if you two were going to stay together, who were you planning on going to next?
Zale.
Okay.
Zale and the sisters.
God damn
Fantastic.
it.
I started with you
Really hoping
two
we could ramp
last
up to
time.
that.
It's fine. I got this. I already know what's happening. It's fine. You're all good. All right. We're going to go ahead and start with Riva and Unya. You both walk up to Irfan Shimbak, a male dragonborn who is known as the leader of the Brutes Guild in Yonder. He is a hulking mass of brass colored scales. Uh, he and his loosely organized army of muscle for hire thugs don't care, honestly, much about anything. But you walk up and Irfan goes, "Ah, I see a warrior."
not to be a little too forward, but you look like a very good fight.
I'm more than a fight. Anyway, what brings you over here? Not many people come talking to me unless they got coin and they need something taken care of.
Well, uh, we are going around trying to talk to people. Uh, you hmm, things have not been so great. Uh, I have been doing. I am not from here. I've came here a bit ago, and I've been doing work as a warrior.
Mm-hmm.
I've gotten caught up in all this, and since that maybe few months that I've been here, everything has started to fall apart, and things don't. They aren't going too well.
Seems to
I'm
be the way
afraid.
things have been lately, yeah.
Yeah.
Fights. I like them. I like fights. As long as there's a fight, I'm there. So, you say that you've been caught up in this turmoil, and You don't seem happy about it. I personally revel in the fights. Pick a side. You need muscle, I got you. If you've got the coin. Or favors.
Where I thought we'd go. Alright. That's yes. I like fighting a lot. It is what I have trained my entire life to do. It is what I do now. Love it. I have watched. Man, it is. I have not been out here, I suppose. I have been doing other things, maybe more in the back lines. But the internal fighting of the city, the between Dorian and Aqua, it is not going to last forever. They eventually will. One side will win out, or both sides will die. And in whatever case, the fighting will end. But the city will be worse for it. And there will be less, I guess, just people and the things to fight for.
Okay, so you got a lot of fancy words.
Well, maybe a little blunt on what she's trying to explain.
What do you, just, look, I get it. You believe both sides are full of shit. What's that do for me?
Right.
If we can approach from a different angle, Fate wants to bring the city together.
How's that going to involve me?
Doing that means that we can focus outside the city more. There are bigger dangers, bigger threats, stronger fights to be had. And nobody to lay claim to the loot that could fall from that.
Why go out hunting for loot when people just pay me to take care of it right up front?
Yes, but what if they pay you to go take care of it and you get to expand your pocket more?
That's fine, but I'm not an adventurer. I'm part of a
No,
guild
not an adventure.
that is
We
muscle
need
for
somebody
hire.
you can kill.
Okay, so you're trying to tell me that there's potential, but you're not telling me how me backing this Fate character is going to put money in my pocket now.
How much do you charge?
Depends on what the deal is. If you just want my support for the time being, 50,000. If you want to guarantee my support, 10,000 and a major favor from both of you.
I am amenable to that deal. Yeah.
I can do the favor, I can't do the money.
We can get you some of the money now. We can give you both our major favors. That's how you know we intend to pay you. And
How much
once
money you have on you?
I have. Let me check. I think I have 1,000. Where's my inventory? That is not it either. Well, I am a mess. There it is. 1,500 on me.
1,100.
So 2,600 in total. Quarter of your due.
All right. Two major favors, what you have on you, and in lieu of payment and not collectible for at least a year if you don't pay, an additional favor each. Normal.
Okay. Sound good to you, Inya?
Sure.
All right. I'll back your play. Better not let me down.
I rarely do.
We'll see. All right. I'm not even going to put a number there.
I gotta mark down a lot of money.
You are welcome for me making you do that. All right. Let me go ahead and roll for the other two parties real quick. And all right. That takes us to Augustine and Isilra, sorry. Walking over to Zale. Walking up, Zale looks at you both, looks over at Isira, and goes, "Oh, you're the one that saved me from this." And he points behind him, and standing behind him is Mazabeth on one side, but as he says that, Rizel walks up and just puts her arm around him and is the grossest ootsy cutesy thing ever. She's very affectionate and whispering things into his ear. Zale mildly blushes and says, "Now is not the time. How can I help you, my saviors?"
Losing it over the oopsie cutesy.
I said them words.
My brain immediately just goes, "We can come back. It's fine.
No, it's fine.
It's not going to be better, but it's fine."
She can wait, and she's a bore. Mazabeth just shoots a glance over and says, "You couldn't handle me on my best of days."
Politics. Damn, I can't say what I want to say. Okay.
I feel like there's a look on Issa's face right now.
She's trying so hard to swallow back all of the bile that is coming up right now. You may want to take this first, because she's trying really hard not to chew off her own tongue.
Where's the other one? Oh. You see as Mazabeth just looks over and stares at Riva, who's currently engaged in a conversation with a brass dragonborn. Having a very in-depth conversation that seems to be going somewhere. Zale just looks... Enough. Ladies. How can I help? I owe you a great deal for having saved me, so anything I can do to help?
Augustine like gives a little nudge to Issa, and as she does, she tosses a bardic to her. Like it's that little boost of encouragement, like just fucking do it. So when the roll comes, you'll have a bardic for it.
Magic works great here. No, that's a wonderful idea.
Is that magic? I thought that was just an
Bardic
ability.
Inspiration is an ability.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah,
And
I was gonna say Augustine won't do it if it qualifies as magic. I just thought it was an ability.
No, if it has a spell casting component, vocal, somatic, stuff like that, and it is actually a spell, that's the only thing that's a problem. Abilities are usually fine unless those abilities are tied directly to a spell.
Okay. Given how I guess we last encountered one another, I was more concerned, or I was less concerned with what you could do for me and more, how are you?
You know, since our meeting on the bridge, our first meeting on the bridge, strangely enough, I don't know why you helped me, but you did, so I appreciate that.
Issa's gonna just trying very hard to be diplomatic, but still needing to glare at Rizel. It felt like the right thing to do at the time.
Rizel just simply looks back at you and just smiles. Like it's just a sheepish grin. Like there's nothing, there's no malice or anything behind it. But you do sense in her eyes that she is primed for violence at any time. But
Oh yeah,
it's
she's
not,
playing with
it's
her
not
food right now.
overt. She's playing with her
Yeah.
food right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, you helped me. So I wish to return the favor. I see you've been around talking to various people throughout the court. I assume that you have some sort of game you're playing. Who are you supporting, the king or La Croix in the Legionnaires?
We're actually
We're
sort of here
supporting fate.
supporting someone else.
Fate. Interesting. I wouldn't have imagined she would throw her hat into the ring. She's been so obstinate in the past, very stay out of it. But she's throwing her hat in the ring?
She is. Someone has to pick this city back up.
Well, if you are putting your support behind Fate and you having helped me, then you can count on my support.
Thank you.
Rizel looks over at you, Augustine, because the last interaction you two had was spicy. She looks at you and just smiles and goes, "You know, if you're free after this, Zale and I could use a third."
Firstly, wow, that was bold. Secondly, I actually have a date. So.
All right. Experience probably trumps here, but I won't let you dig in the gutter if you choose.
Maybe experience isn't what I'm looking for.
Oh well, more for me. Zale, are we done here? This is so boring. Zale goes, "Enough." Yes, I believe we are. You can count on my support for Fate, as well as the support of the Blackmorn family, despite their obstinance to everything. I wish you all a good evening. And Zale wanders off, dragging Mazabeth, who is still glaring at Riva. Just like the entire time, she's been like side eyeing you and then just staring at Riva, just like, All right.
Issa's gonna look at Augustine. That's gonna be a problem later, right?
Yes, that will absolutely be a problem later. But that is later us's problem.
Is that
That
we should warn Riva now or wait until this is over problem?
are you kidding me? If Riva had a tail and you told her that, the tail would wag. She would just be excited and want to go fight her now.
That's fair.
So we
I'm
wait.
genuinely surprised there aren't dueling grounds out here, given the nature of this place.
Oh, well,
I don't know.
the king has to stick to some semblance of an actual, courtly gathering.
Although, speaking of courtly, we're flying by the seat of our pants on this. There's technically nothing saying we couldn't go talk to the king. Other than common sense, which I clearly lack, so you're gonna have to be the voice of reason on this, Augie.
Oh my god. If I can stop sneezing for 3 seconds. Nope.
God bless you.
Only Elliot calls me Augie.
Huh.
That is his special little nickname he gave me a long time ago.
Good to know.
So, as you
Seeing as I
say
just
that,
met
you
you
hear
again,
from
like 2 days ago.
as you say that, you hear
Notice
from
how-
behind you. I also call you bitch.
God, it's like a sassy echo in here every single time.
With pizza people, it happens, and we're very queer. Um,
All right, so that has been an hour and a half, I believe, that you've all been having chats. So far, you have garnered, that you're aware of, 5 people supporting you. If anybody wants to make perception checks to see, you were all engaged in conversation. Unya, you will not be at disadvantage on this. You can roll at regular. Everyone else rolls at disadvantage to see who else was talking to who.
You said perception?
That's
Yes.
you won't believe it. I rolled so well. A 2 and a 1.
Augustine, take the wheel.
Got a 20.
I hate that this is at disadvantage because my first roll was just a nat 20. I hate you.
Haha.
19 with a 7.
Okay.
For the record, the other one was a 19, so I am extremely salty on this as well. Son of a bitch.
35.
All right. So everybody but Riva, the people you've seen talking. I gotta roll one here. Ooh, that's not good.
Did we by any chance have our lovely little psionic get to like talk to anybody that just wandered past him?
I will do some stuff in the background if Jean is unable to make it, so we'll get that figured out. So just so you're all aware, what you have seen from Cordelia has been chatting with a few different folks, Ulka, Snow, and Mingani Lilt. Quiven has been around chit-chatting with Alios, not that one. Kjorn
God damn it, Amy.
and Vywin.
I have an idea. It's a terrible idea, but I do have one.
You're usually right. Like, we have a lot of those. Mostly me.
Okay,
Please
so
August
continue.
do you all want to regroup and use 15 minutes of the next round?
That was a
All
good idea.
that means is none of you will be guaranteed. You'll be guaranteed not to have advantage, but that doesn't necessarily mean you'll have disadvantage during your conversations. Just so you have time to talk to each other.
Might be for the best that we talk to each other. Just so we have our grounds covered. Or we could try to do next round without.
Because Augustine's idea is to go talk to Mazakai,
Okay.
which is one of the hard sells. So I'm trying to figure out what would have us in a better position for that.
If
I
you
mean,
were going to do that, I would say probably Riva's your better bet because I am a tarnished ass paladin and I'm just gonna piss him off.
That's valid and fair.
Paladin is Paladin as long as you're not an oath breaker.
I mean, I'm
Yeah,
not
you're
doing
not.
great right now.
You're not breaking any of your tenets, otherwise I would have already turned you. It's
True.
fine.
Not Ox yet.
God damn
Thank
it.
you. I didn't want to be the one to say it.
I don't need my Saturday games coming back to bite me. Which, while they all decide who they're going to be chatting with, just a quick shout out. Unfortunately, we will not be running tomorrow because Mike had a thing come up. So you'll have to wait till next week to see what kind of shenanigans we all get
Oh,
into.
so we can get time in right now to give you shit because you won't get it tomorrow.
Shut up.
Hmm.
Anyway,
If we do it just Augustine and Issa,
mhm.
that's only 2 people to score the score average is split between, as opposed to 4
That's true.
people.
Yep.
So my vote
I'll-
for that, like, I wanted everyone to have a say in it, but my vote for that is for it to just be Issa and Augustine that go over there, and we don't do like the regroup for it.
Okay. You can
Just
go over
then
there
the
and
average
chat
is
to
pulling from less
Mazakai.
rolls.
If that's the
How
case,
long?
go ahead.
How long do we have here? Do we know, or is it?
I mean, mechanically, out of character, you all know. In character, you're not sure. You do know that as you're having conversations, other people are having conversations as well, and there's a chance that someone that you talked to already may end up talking to somebody else.
Oh,
But so far, it's been broken up with people that you have not talked to have already been spoken with.
so I guess I didn't see who got talked to, right?
You did not know.
I won't even think about it. Never mind then. Lunia, do you have any thoughts on who to talk to next?
I believe that's a no.
Maybe it was a planted
No.
for the
Wonderful.
I better off keeping my shut on.
You guys could go talk to Corin.
I'm trying to.
Kjorn?
She owns the cracked Kjorn. Sorry, Kjorn owns the cracked pact where we've been
It was
staying.
thinking, yeah, killing.
Okay. So we can do that if you want to go talk to Kjorn Brickfoot.
So
All right.
we're gonna go talk to
Mazakai?
Mazakai. They're gonna go talk to Kjorn. I think
Yep.
I said that right.
All right. Riva's the oddballs. All right. Riva and Unya, you are up first. You approach Kjorn Brickfoot, who is currently wearing a smug grin and chewing on an unlit cigar. The one thing that you have not gotten to know as you've stayed at the Cracked Pact as is that Kjorn has this habit of swapping patron deals, and people are none too happy about it. Rumor is abound that Kjorn knows how to break pacts.
Interesting. I'll go up to her. Good evening, Kjorn.
Oh, one of my regulars, I think. I've seen you around.
Yes.
How can I help you?
We're going around talking to people. You seem unusually happy. Is it something?
Well, I mean, make a deal here, make a deal there. Seems Quiven's got quite the idea going on and on how to solve this. So I'm kind of leaning that direction.
Oh, you talked to Quiven?
Yeah. Just talked to him about an hour ago.
We were hoping to talk to you. We wish to put up a candidate opposed to the king or the Qua.
Mm-hmm.
We put up Fate instead. We believe she would be able to handle the city better, and we'd also be uh, trying to instate a council of sorts as well.
You wanna try to instate a council. You're gonna definitely. You got some stones on you. I say that respectfully, of course. But so you want me to what? Back Fate to create some sort of council that's gonna potentially solve all our problems, or just break down into something more chaotic than it already is.
Something like that.
Those are two separate instances. Which one?
Our goal is to do the one where everything works out.
I mean, isn't that everyone's deal? So what do I get out
Yeah.
of supporting fate here?
Well, it would guarantee your business. The correct pact would have, well, it would have a city still to run in. You'd have a place on the council, so you'd have a say in decisions and the such of the city.
You want me
The
to have a say in a city that kind of despises me. I mean, along with the Legionnaires, whom I more often get along with than not, because of the things that I can and do.
well, you are a member of the city, just like the Legionnaires
That's
and
true.
everyone else. You deserve a voice. You are. There's no reason you should not be on the council, even if other people dislike you.
That's fair. Go ahead and both of you roll persuasion.
All right. Don't roll a 3 again. Oh, it's so much better. Say 26. Nope.
9.
27.
What was that, Unya?
9.
Okay. Kjorn looks at you and says, "Look, I'll give it some thought, but it's it's gonna be a tough choice between you and the Legionnaires. I think unless you can provide something that's gonna be a better deal for me, I'll just stick with them."
What did they offer you as a deal?
Why would I give away their secrets?
Do you want me to offer something better?
I'm a business person, and as a business person, and someone in the business that I'm in, trading around secrets is what gets you killed. I mean, some secrets, of course. That being said, I think I will not reveal to you what I was offered with them.
Well, I will. I have some other business to attend to. If I think of something that might suit you a little better, we will come back.
Very well. All right. So, unfortunately, you did not sway Kjorn. Um, this is a beat situation, and unfortunately, your persuasion did not beat the previous persuasion roll. That
Yeah.
being said, we're going to go ahead and head over to Augustine and Isira with Mordecai the Just. As you walk up, you see in front of you a male Asimir, High General of the Radiant Brigade, clad in full plate, gleaming silver and gold. It is painfully obvious that this man is a paladin. The Radiant Brigade, from what you know, Augustine, is a radically religious militant faction. They come from a place far to the south, but have long viewed the Shade Lands as an unseemly bruise on the world's face.
On the way over there, Augustine says to Issa, I'm going to sound odds. Just try to take it in stride and go with it.
As you walk up, he's kind of staring. He's staring at Dorian, and you don't need to make an insight check. He is very obviously disgusted with the man sitting on the throne. And he side eyes you
You
as you
know,
walk up, and he turns, looks you up and down, and says, "Can I help you?"
well, I mean, you seem to hold about the same opinion as I do as to how things have been going here lately.
Lately, try since its inception. This place is a blight.
Yes, well, you can't destroy everything like that, but you can push it towards a better future. Of course, right now the options presented to you are Dorian and Lacroix, which really sounds like choosing between two wrong choices.
Doesn't
But
matter.
there's a third one.
Oh. And what's that?
Fate. Fate is stepping forward, if you're familiar or have heard of her.
I've heard of her. She has dealings with those foul warlocks.
She does her best to ensure that things are still fair.
Fair. Selling one's soul, children, livelihood, futures to a entity not of this world? No.
If someone was going to do something dangerous, say if one of the people you know was going to rush into a battle, and you knew they were going to do it regardless, would you simply let them rush? Or would you do your best to arm them and protect them, even if only from their own bad decisions?
I suppose you have a point. I would want to make sure that they're armed and trained appropriately, so that running headlong into a battle isn't an instant death sentence.
That's what she does. Fate is a woman of great honor. And I say this being familiar to an extent with your home. I think if you knew her outside of what you already know, as a casual person you meet, you would quite respect and like her.
He narrows his eyes at you and then looks slightly off to your right shoulder, and standing behind you, obviously, or off to your right, is Isilra. He looks over at you and goes, "You have the look of a warrior with a code. What do you think of this fate person?"
I think that I have known a great many people in this city. I have known pious, I have known cruel, I have known capable, I have known kind. Sorry. Fate is one of the few that does good regardless of how it will help her in this city. She does her best every day, and especially in a place like this that is hard to come by. And I think that the best that this city can ever ask for is somebody who's willing to try and keep trying regardless of how it ends up happening.
Do you think that she could bring an end to this war and possibly clean out some of the filth from within this city?
I think that her heart is one of a healer, and it's difficult to heal a bruise when you keep hitting it.
Well spoken. Both of you roll persuasion. Isilra, you roll at advantage.
You also still have that bardic because you never had to use it on the conversation with Zale. So that's a D. I want to say a D.
How long does Bardic
D8.
Inspiration last?
Oh, well, that's a
I
good
believe it's
question.
10 minutes.
Yeah, I think
So it's
It's gone.
it's gone. Damn. Okay, never mind.
Sorry.
Well, you said a persuasion?
Yes.
Advantage? 21?
Oh wait, just say
Okay.
34.
All right.
Math is hard, guys.
And yet, for all that, Augustine is the one still just pushing us straight into the paint on this.
Ooh. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. All right. That is the end of round 3. Okay. So everyone make a perception check. Unya, you didn't do much chatting, so you do not have disadvantage. Everyone else rolls at disadvantage for their perception checks.
Did he agree? Is he going to support her or?
Yes. He basically looks directly at Isira and says, you make a good point. We'll keep an eye on this situation, but for the time being, as long as she does what you say she can, then you will have the support of our nation.
Thank you.
19 for Unya.
Okay.
Cool, 9.
Perception.
Mhm. At
Perception at
disadvantage.
disadvantage.
Yep.
It was like
32.
an 18 too. Yeah, it was a 3. Not. Yeah, it was. Or 4 actually.
19 again.
All
This
right.
was a 7 and an 11.
So you noticed that there was a conversation between. Ooh. Let's see if this worked out. Yep. Okay. There was a conversation between Quiven and Millicent, and a conversation between Cordelia and Borla. Borla seemed to be smiling a little bit more as Cordelia walked away.
Now I assume we should regroup if we can.
All right.
Yeah.
You want to regroup?
Yep.
Got some stuff to talk about, probably.
All right. Depending on how long this regroup takes, it may actually take one of your entire actions. Just be wary.
Okay.
We all meet up at the punch. Talk fast.
uh, uh, um, we talked.
Talk fast.
We sold a lot. We had to give a lot to the barbarian man. I was right. He likes gold. He's not fight to fight. He cost us a lot of gold and 2 favors, but he should be on our side. Who was the other person I was talking to? The owner of the Cracked Pact. They got the deal from the Legionnaires that they did not. They liked it more than our deal. So unless you guys can think of something to give them to sway them to our side, they're sticking with them.
I think
Uh,
that ship may have sailed, and she's just gonna, or Issa's just gonna look at Cordelia.
so who else did we talk to? Uh, Torad, right? Yeah, we got his agreement, right, to be on our side.
As far as you know, no one's
As far as I
talked to
know.
Torad yet, other than you all.
So we talked to Torad. He seems to be on our side. No one's getting. So hopefully, how's things going on your side?
Well, Borla did seem inclined to support us, but that may have changed. Uh, we did talk to Zale. We have the support of Zale. I
We
remember
also
who all
have
we talked
support of
to.
the vampires, and I feel very dirty about that. But that's
The
something I
vampires
will
are
unpack.
cool with you supporting us. They just okay.
Yeah. Which it is technically, I guess, handy for us to have their house and a general on our side. especially one who works for the king, but God, I still want to say her
Mazokai is also supporting Faith now. We
That's
went over and
okay.
spoke with him,
It's good.
so
Mm.
we can go attempt to sway Bola back over to our side, or we can try to find somebody else to talk to.
it may be worth it to talk to Aelios. A thief's going to have a vested interest in this city surviving, because it's hard to turn a profit when there's nobody to steal from.
We also worked with them, haven't we? When we were going across the bridges a bit ago? Or was it just like
We
one of
did.
their...
I would guess that they will remember at least one of us.
Probably only Riva.
Yes, and I was heavily in makeup. I remember.
Yeah, there's that.
But
So
I think they knew me anyways.
the people that
All of
you
my good
know that you have not talked to are Aelios, Ulka, Snow, and Mengani Lilt.
Yes, but Uko was talking to Cordelia, wasn't he?
Who was?
Uka? The...
Ulka was talking to Cordelia, but also talking to other people that seem to be working with the king.
So,
Ulka might be a tough sell, but also might be a worthwhile sell.
we haven't talked to Snow, who's the Stone Leg leader.
Yeah. Snow, we had mixed reviews on when we encountered last time.
She's the... trying to remember.
She got us over the bridges.
Right, and we carried her box.
Yeah.
Right,
Which she would remember you helping her.
right, yeah. I
That
was
might
the one
be a
that
good
carried
in.
it. So, that's... yeah. That's possible. That might be a good in on her.
And Augustine, you wanted to still potentially talk to Cordelia, correct?
I don't know. Because
Seems
with
like
the amount of work she seems to be putting in for the king,
yes, she seems like a very
Does that
difficult
make-
sell, if not impossible.
I had heard rumors of discontent on her end, but she seems to be fully and eagerly supporting him today, so
She may be worth talking to just to see where her head's at, but not necessarily for any sort of support.
You would
we
probably...
don't have the time for that.
I know.
it'd be a waste of time, yeah, to get the information on what their game plan is. It would just give the Legionnaires time to recruit other people.
I think it would be in our best interest to focus on the guilds.
Okay.
If there's going to be any sort of a council, they're the ones who are going to want their piece of the pie, and they're the ones that we should probably try and sway to us.
I
As
can
you're all
go.
having your conversation, a voice booms through the room as King Dorian stands up from his throne and says, "Let it be known that all mere mortals are not the only ones who get to determine the fate of the Shade Lands.
Shit.
For you have to also garner the support of the patrons." And as he says that, as fragments of light from the aurora seeping in through every window, avatars of the patrons flow through into the room. Each one you see is somehow uh, oh, why did I have to do this right now? Oh, that almost sneeze. Anyway, every one of them is the avatar of the patrons that you've already met, including a couple that you may not have that you're aware of. And they all start entering the fray, as it were, mingling amongst the mortals. You now also have 7 new people that you can potentially have a chat with. And with that, that's where we'll pick up next week, everyone. Thank you for watching. And remember, we're not going to have game tomorrow, so join us next Friday as we finish up what this court is and see who actually can sway the Shadelands to support them. Is it going to be the king, the legionnaires, or will the party pull off a strange victory in the form of garnering enough support for fate? We'll find out next time. Have a wonderful evening, everybody.